Morning, everybody. 23rd of July, and another day in my daily diaries of looking after my wife with Parkinson's and dementia. Yesterday was I want to say a weird one, but it's becoming like the norm. It started off, I got her up I got Angie up about, 10 o'clock. Remember, because we had a viewing booked to go look at her bungalow for 12. So I got her up about 10ish in order to get her washed and dressed, give her breakfast in time. But I got her washed in the bathroom, but then she sat on the toilet that long. It was like 11:15 by the time she'd done. About 11:15 by the time I'd managed, when she'd done toilet and then got her washed. So she just ended up just having a quick banana because it's too late there again. She used to stop eating by 11, so she couldn't have a normal breakfast. When we got out and look at that bungalow, the potential was there, but it's not for us. It wanted a bit too much modernising than I'd hoped, to be honest. Even though I'd have loved to have took it on and got stuck in, but we can't live in a building site for a few months. It's just not feasible. It's, I just couldn't do it, and and look after Angie as well. It's unfortunately it's not, but there was plenty of room. Like I said, the potential was there. And it was only around the corner from Angie's sisters as well. So she got the calendar all wrong again. She got 2 of the names wrong, and again, 1 I don't know. So that's becoming the normal. But when she sees them, like when granddaughter came up at weekend with the little fella Arlo, she knew him straight away. She can call him by his name. So it's not as though she doesn't know them, full stop. She can't associate the pictures properly. And like I said, she's giving the kiddies on the picture other names from out of the family. So she just can't associate the two. So we then went out with Marilyn, Angie's sister. Just went into Blackpool just for something different to do. I just had to push along the front because it was a bit breezy, but it turned out to be a nice day just for getting out in some nice fresh sea air. Had a walk on Central Pier again. Not been on that for a while. That was busier than I remember. A lot on that one. Much better than the North Pier. We had some because she had only had that banana for breakfast. I said I needed to get some food in her. So when we got there, it was only about 1 o'clock. We just went into one of the eating places, in Blackpool, like a nice big cafe. Nice cafe it was. It was a fish and chip cafe. So she didn't want fish and chips. She didn't want something else. So we ended up settling for cheese and onion pie with chips. And I had to feed her in the cafe. But she only ate probably, not even a third of a pie. And, 6 or 7 chips. That was it. So I had to finish it off for her. Which, considering I was supposed to be having no dinner yesterday, I was trying to be good, but anyway, so she didn't finish that. So she's heading out to eat, really, when you think about it. Then we just went for a walk along the promenade on the Blackpool front, and then on the pier, like I said, and so it was a nice, enjoyable walk. But when I'm just pushing Angie along in the wheelchair, walking with Angie's sister, and I just felt like a carer, to be honest. Yesterday, I just felt like a carer, taking somebody out for a day out. you know, and you think, you know, if only, you know, just give me one day, you know, can I just go back, you know, for 10 years and just give me one day, you know, we'll have a normal day where we could have just walked along the front ourselves and just enjoyed the day, as two people should, and not one person pushing the other. But that's the nature of the beast. It is what it is, as I keep saying, you know. But sometimes you just look back and think, if only, or what if, you know. Horrible disease, you know. So, and then you get the Parkinson, the dementia coming in with it. Anyway, there's no point in harping on about it. There's nothing I can do about it. Like, yesterday's gone. I can't go back, so I can only go from today onwards. I can't even change what's going to happen tomorrow. All I can do is what's happening today. And today we got the cleaner coming, and then I'm going to do my shopping while the outreach worker sits in with Angie. Hopefully I'll get her to do some word searches with Angie, and I'll just go for a crafty coffee somewhere when I've done my shopping. And then tonight we're going looking at the other bungalow. That's 6:30 tonight, because it's not actually on the market yet. So the fella finishes work. He said he'll be home for about 6, so he'll nip round and meet us there about 6:30. So I'll have to, again, see, this, you've got to start thinking all the time, because we're going to be there for 6:30, means leaving here about 15:15, something like that. So, which means Angie's going to have to finish eating. Normally I'm putting the food on the table for around 6ish. So I'm going to have to put the food on the table about 5. So you've got to be ahead of the game all the time, which means me going out doing the shopping, make sure I'm back, put the tea in, because I'll have to give it a cup of tea. It's just that it controls your life, this Parkinson's, it controls your life in every way, shape and form. You know, even down to that, it's not simple of just going viewing somewhere. You got to think of everything around it. You know, and then we'll get back probably, well, 6:30, probably back here for if we have a good half an hour, won't we? You know, 7:15. Then I'll have to get her washed and ready for in her pajamas, ready for the evening. You know, so like last night when we got in, we went for another cup of tea afterwards. But again, she spent most of the day with her eyes closed. She spent probably about an hour of the day with her eyes open. And then we just sat and had a cup of tea in one of the cafes before we got back in the car and came home, and I dropped her sister off, and we came home here. Made Angie a cup of tea again, chopped it up again really small. And to be fair, she ate probably about 80% of it by herself off a spoon. It was veg and mash and some sort of a pie, or some sort of a mushroom and garlic bake or something it was called. So, but then I still had to finish a fedder, you know, with the remainder of it again. So, but she did clear the plate, and as I said, lately I've been noting that she's not been eating all the food, but last night she did. But to be fair, she had not to eat all day really. She had a banana, you know, and half a dozen chips and a little piece of pie. So, you know, if she'd have left any of that, then I probably would have been, you know, more concerned. So, yeah, and then the time I'd got her ready for sitting on the, you know, in the pajamas and sat on the couch. And I was washing pots. I'd put another lot of washing in. I finished. I've done everything. I hadn't done anything. I was hoping to do a bit of ironing, but I got in the shower and I sat down with a cup of tea, and it was 9:15 last night. 9:15, and then no sooner had I sat down, and Angie started with the hair twizzling, legs were going. Again, she was lay horizontal at one point. Then she sat on the edge of the settee. What are you doing? I'm just, and she's rocking for. Angie, come on, sit back. Then I was trying to give her a night tablets. So I put the tablet in her mouth, but then she wouldn't open her mouth while I put the drinking bottle to her mouth. And she's a bugger, she'll she'll crush and chew the tablets. Well, the Parkinson's are capsules, and it's a slow release. You know, it's supposed to go in the stomach, and just, well, it does what it says on the tin, it's slowly released during the night. So she's a bugger, so I was frightened she was just going to start chewing on it. So it took me hours like that, trying to pull her lip open, everything. You're hurting me, she said at one point. I said, well, open your mouth. But again, I'm getting a bit stressed and a bit irate with her. You know, and this is while she's sort of laid horizontal on the couch, and it's, I don't know, so and then I got her to bed, and she's only about 20 minutes being a bit restless in bed, and then during the night, no issues. I woke up a few times. She had me, you know, she was making loud noises and doing a bit of shouting out. That was at 2:20. I looked at the clock, so I just waited for 10 minutes, and then she calmed down. And again, it was about 3:40, same thing. But at no point did I have to get out of bed. And she wasn't wet, you know, wasn't wet with sweat. I kept checking on her and that. So in one sense, the night was better than it has been, you know, for a good few nights, to be honest. So yeah, she's still in bed now. It's, I don't know, it must be 9 o'clock-ish. I'll give her the tablets at 8, but of course I had to wake her up. And then she's restless now in bed, doing the humming and the making noises and twizzling around her hair again. So I'll have to get her up about 10 to 1:30. So again, she can have a breakfast and be ready for the cleaner getting here at 11:30. So yeah. I'm looking forward to looking at that bungalow tonight, because what I can hear it doesn't need anything doing to it. It's all modernised. The couple that bought it spent a lot of money on it. They was only in it 2 years, and then they both died. So fingers crossed. It's only a 2-bedroom, but fingers crossed I can refigure what's going on in my head about what's needed and that. And anyway, yeah, fingers crossed. So whatever will be, will be. If it's meant to be, it'll be. But I'm hoping, to be honest, from the outside, I'm hoping it might be the one. Right, so I'm going to get off now, make myself a brew, and then get on with this day. So, as usual, again, please press your like buttons, follow me, or subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Forward these videos on, please, to as many people as you can. Again, not for my own sake, just so we can get all this info out. You know, I've had a couple of messages yesterday. People have just started watching, and one said, "Oh, I couldn't believe how, you know, how it affects and carers and stuff. You know, what a naff disease this Parkinson's is." And then somebody else, you know, who's in my position, but this was a lady, you know, like thanking me for, you know, I fully understand that it could be me speaking, she said. So yeah, so I just want to get it out there to as many people as I can. And so yeah, as usual, like I said, press the like button, follow me, subscribe, share these videos, and I'll do another one tomorrow. Okay, so you take care now. Bye.